Hello Power Rangers fans and welcome back to Toku Topics. So today we have some Power Rangers Cosmic Fury news to talk about because we finally have a look at some of the toys. And what may be the only toys, I made a post about that on Twitter and it was not received well, to say the least. But as far as I know, these are the only 3 Cosmic Fury toys that we are launching the show with. So let's go ahead and dive into it here today with the first item of these 3 things that leaked, because all of these are leaked in some kind of strange ways, with the Cosmic Fury Morpher. So here's the Cosmic Fury Morpher, and it is certainly a toy, that's definitely for sure. It's kind of a conflicting thing because I don't think really any of the Hasbro Morphers have all been that great. I think that the Beast X one that we had a couple years ago was honestly pretty solid, but they just kind of keep progressively getting worse. And this is definitely the worst looking one, but looks are kind of deceiving when it comes to this toy because I think honestly the functionality is, even though it's still relatively limited and definitely confusing, like the Dino Fury Morphers were, there's a cool amount of stuff that you kind of can do with this if you can get it to do anything that you want it to do. But I think the kind of thing that stings about this one in particular is that we had just had, like, a couple days before these pictures leaked out, some pictures of the actual prop in the show from Simon Bennett. And the prop from the show has, like, this big band with the Power Rangers logo on it, and it has really nice metallic paint and these, like, nice molded buttons, and it just looks a lot nicer, it looks a lot cooler. And then you get this toy, and it's like, that's what we got? Okay, so we can see on the box here we have Amelia as the Red Ranger, which is really, really cool that she's front and center on the box. This is also a brand new render of her suit compared to the one that we had back during the January 17th Fan First event, or the Fan Stream event that revealed her suit. On the back, we also have some demonstrations of just kind of how the Morpher works, if you can even figure that out. It has 20 plus phrases or whatever. It shows on the front that you can use this to unlock sounds because it interacts with what's on screen in both Dino Fury and Cosmic Fury. And we already know that this feature doesn't really work very well because this toy has already been found in store shelves, and I think it was Germany and Austria and maybe one other place or so. I'm sure it's going to pop up in like Malaysia and stuff, you know, pretty soon. But thanks to HurricaneGold on Twitter and on YouTube, we actually got a really nice, thorough, in-depth like review unboxing of this toy, which is up on the screen right now. So he did like a whole 50-minute video just kind of trying to figure out how this thing works, because just like the Dino Night Morpher we had last year, and I guess not really the Mosa Blaster from earlier this year, because that was the Morpher that came out in between these two, the instructions are completely unhelpful whatsoever about telling you what this thing does. You can see it has a very, very bright light. It lights up a bunch of different colors. It lights up 7 different colors, actually, specifically, which is very interesting because, spoilers until this time code on the screen, this backs up Illuminati's exclusive report that Fern is going to be joining the team as a brand new Orange Ranger. Not only is there an orange light in this toy, which you might have just seen on screen at some point here with the clips that are playing, but also there's actually some Vern voice phrases in here, or one voice phrase, and some grunting noises, because the entire team has grunting noises and it's morphing time phrases in here, and it corresponds with like the light that their Ranger color is. So Fern is in here, she's not on the box or anything like that. We don't still have a look at her suit at this point in time, but it's cool that she's included. It's kind of a weird thing that she's not on the box and stuff, because it's like they're trying to hide that she is a Ranger, but then they have her in the toy, so it's like not really that hidden. It's kind of strange. The instruction manual also shows that this can also interact with clips from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always. It doesn't really do that all that well. Daniel tries to show it off here in the video, and it just doesn't really work very great. But it has a very bright light. It has this hinge that can move up and down. It has different buttons that make different animal noises and Zord noises and whatever they're supposed to be. And the idea is there. Is the execution all that great? No, not really. But I am looking forward to getting this toy. It seems fun enough. But it's probably, I wouldn't say it's my least favorite of the 3 toys. It's probably like right in the middle. It's not my favorite by any means. We're about to talk about that one, and it's not my least favorite. Now, of course, you can't have a Power Ranger season without Megazords, and we know that we were getting Q&O. We knew that that was going to be what they were going to do for Cosmic Fury, that they were going to be adapting the Q Ranger Zord footage, and we finally have our first look at how Hasbro is going to be tackling this here. Now, we don't know if this picture that we have is like an Amazon Mega Pack like they did last year. They did both years of Dino Fury, or we got those Zord Mega Packs that were kind of like the individual releases bundled together. We don't know if there is individual releases for this, or if this is just the only version that we're getting. I would seem to probably point to the idea that this is the only version that we're getting, because I don't know how exactly you'd split up Q&O. But as you can see here, you have a look at the Megazord artwork on the front. And I think the big thing, though, to take from this is that this is promoting that Zord Link is continuing. So Zord Link is the kind of Zord engineering that they implemented for the ports on all the Dino Fury Zords. That way you could kind of clip things all over the place. They're not the greatest ports. They were prone to breaking in different spots, so you had to be careful with them, or they would rip off or something like that. But I never thought that they would carry that over for Q-Ranger Zords for Cosmic Fury. But we can see that the Q-Tama, at the very least, and I'm assuming that's like, the part that you plug them into, the Q-Tama are going to be detachable and are going to be Zord Link port, accessible. So they're not selling Q-Tamas individually, and they're not being included in the Morpher or anything like that, like most people kind of speculated or theorized that they would. But it at least appears that this initial offering of Q-Reno is going to have some detachable Q-Tama that you could use on Dino Fury toys if you wanted to. We still don't know currently if this is the only Zords that we're getting, if we're even using any of the other Zords from Q-Ranger. We don't know. We do know based off of this that they are labeling the swordfish as a shark, and that is going to be Ion Zord. So they did do the thing we kind of speculated about, because I did that video back in January where I speculated what mecha battle footage, what episodes of Q-Ranger we could be using for this, and kind of like how the Zords could work, which ones we could adapt. And I had even speculated, and a lot of people had too, so I don't take that much credit for it, that Ion would probably get Yellow Zord and pretend like it was gold, and that's seemingly exactly what they're doing here. And then seemingly the final Cosmic Fury toy that either they're producing in general, or at least producing to start the show off, is this Zenith Ranger Roleplay Set. So this is basically the exact same thing, even down to the molding, essentially, of the Red Ranger one and the Void Knight one that we got the last couple years. I think both of those were Target exclusives, I want to say, and this one does seem to follow that same sort of pattern, because we have actually already had a spotting of this, which is kind of interesting. So as we can see with this, it has the Zenith Ranger mask, which is basically just the Red Ranger one repainted with the extra spikes on the top, and you get that kind of Chroma Fury dagger form with like a brand new weapon. A lot of people said it kind of looks like Megatron's weapon. I don't know what that means, but I'll be putting a picture up of it on screen, I suppose. People have also said that it looks like Boon Tower's sword, kind of like mixed with the Chroma Fury saber. This is one of those things to where, like, I said on Twitter, like, I doubt this is going to be in the show, and everybody was like, why do you think it's not going to be in the show? And I'm like, why do you think it is going to be in the show? Because, like, the Void Knight dagger, well, that was not in the show. The other ones, the regular daggers, those were barely in the show. And I feel like, yes, we do have original weapons for Cosmic Fury. We've seen that for the whole team, and we hadn't seen a weapon for Zato, and this is technically a weapon for Zato. It's more of a mold reuse to get the toy out there to sell this than it is, I think, something that's actually going to be in the show. And I could be wrong. With them shooting original footage and everything, this would be the one thing that would make sense to show up in the show, I suppose. But you would also think that the Zenith Ranger artwork would have probably shown him with a weapon if he was going to have a weapon. I don't think he is going to have a weapon, but if he did, I guess it could be this. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, as I had said, this was already found at a Target in Florida, so this is the first of the Cosmic Fury toys to actually reach US stores. So the Morpher is out in Europe, the Roleplay Set's out in the US, and the Megazord has not been spotted yet, at least at the time of me making this video. And that's Power Rangers Cosmic Fury, at least the initial toy offerings. Like I said at the very beginning of this video, I have not seen any evidence or proof or have been told anything. In fact, I've kind of been told that these are the only toys, so we'll see if there are going to be any more toys for Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. A very glaring missing thing is figures. Either that's Lightning Collection figures or especially the basic figures. I think at this point, it just makes more sense to just move them straight to Lightning Collection, just do them some point next year or something. Because, like, I love the basic figure lines for Beast Morphers and Cosmic Fury, or for Dino Fury, and I really, really want one for Cosmic Fury. This is going to be a 10-episode season that they just drop on Netflix. It's going to have very little fanfare. People are going to forget about it very quickly. And while that's pretty negative and pessimistic, it's just kind of the truth here. And, like, I think that kind of barely having any toys out there is maybe the way to go. At least we get a Megazord, at least we get a Morpher, at least we get this kind of cool roleplay set. Especially if you want to hang, like, the mask of the Zenith Ranger up or something. Which I think is actually kind of cool, because it is, like, a unique, original thing that we didn't have from Japan. So, like, I think there's actually some kind of cool incentive behind that. But we'll just have to wait and see if we get more Zords, if we get more roleplay stuff. There's definitely those other weapons that they could sell. Some of those things look like perfect for Nerf gun things or whatever it may be. And of course, I know people would really want figures, and like I said, I do too. I just have not seen any evidence that those are actually going to exist, but I hope that they do. So with that, those are the initial offerings for the Power Rangers Cosmic Fury toy line. 3 items. that's it so far. But let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of these items? How do you feel about the Morpher being so different from the show prop and being a confusing toy that makes no sense? How do you feel about the version of Kirino that we're getting? And what do you think about that roleplay set? Be sure to check out Daniel's live stream in the description below about the entire in-depth sort of review unboxing of the Cosmic Fury Morpher. And of course, until next time, you guys can follow me on Twitter at LivingRangerKey or LandifigPR, and I will see you all later. To wrap up this video, I'd like to thank my $5 and above patrons: Jurassic Samurai, Maggot Alchemist, Robert Browning, Static Thunder, Brendan Overland, Maji Yellow, MCPC Studios, Comics 1017, James Darty, John Luke, Eric Berry, Tyler Bezetsky, Matthew Thorne, Josh Landry, Pyramidus, CBT Tesla, Cross SCV, Caboose Ed, Socket Monsters, Anthony Love, Daniel Pika, Hella Geo, Thrasher, Jesus Prime, Uni Warrior Thomas, and Lewis Carnes. You can support Toku Topics for as little as $1 a month on my Patreon, linked in the description below.